Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Call of Duty Black Ops 4 video. This video is going to be something that's a little bit interesting. I want to talk about DLC weapons that could be coming to this game because I think we all know, we've seen the maps, we've seen the content. Treyarch likes to use content from old games and bring it back, especially when it's in the same series, with the Black Ops series, right? It makes sense. Nuketown, we've seen it multiple times. We've seen Summit multiple times. We've seen Firing Range many times. You know, we've seen the same guns over and over as well. And basically, some people like that, some people don't like that. Personally, I don't mind it as long as it makes for a good gameplay and a fun experience, especially when you've been following the franchise and playing it for quite some time, like I have. Seeing that old guns being brought back and old maps definitely brings back those great feelings, nostalgia and stuff like that. But we're gonna talk about basically some DLC weapons that people want to see in this game and the possibilities of them coming back from previous COD games. So if you guys could smack a like on this video, I would appreciate that. It's something a little different. I hope you guys will enjoy. It takes a nanosecond to drop a like, so let's go for 1,500 likes. That'd be awesome. Subscribe if you guys are new on that road to 1 million subs, and let's get right into it. So what sparked this was basically an article. Well, my buddy Raidaway told me about this article from Charlie Intel, and Charlie Intel, shout out to them, awesome site. And this is an article from Jeffrey, and it's the top 5 weapons that should be brought back for Black Ops 4 multiplayer. And I saw this article, and I agree with some of them, but some of them I don't really agree with. And I went and I thought to myself, can I make up a list? And I want to make a video because this inspired me and I want to talk about it, right? It inspired me to make a video to talk about, because I want to talk about some weapons that I think would fit very good in this game from previous CODs. And we got to watch out here because Black Ops 3 has already had a lot of the guns recycled from Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 1. So guns like that I probably would avoid coming back for, the whatever third or fourth time. Something like the MP40. The MP40 would be great in this game, but we've seen it so much in multiplayer and Black Ops. I want to go for some more different options. So first of all, let's talk about with Jeffrey's list, and then we'll go into more of my suggestions and what I think about it. So first one he suggested was the Stoner 63 from Black Ops 1, and I'll show pictures as we go through on this video, so you guys can refresh your memory if you guys don't remember these weapons, or maybe some of you guys haven't seen them before. It's all good. I'll kind of explain them. Stoner 63 was a very cool weapon from Black Ops 1. This gun had a high fire rate with tons of ammo while still had low recoil. Yeah, this was kind of your close range. This was like the Maddox version of an LMG, to put it in perspective. So I think Stoner 63 is actually a pretty cool thing, and it could be brought back as an LMG. This is a gun that I made a video with this gun like back in like 2011 or something. So like I said, nostalgia definitely something to do with it. The next is the Hammer LMG from Black Ops 2. Personally, I think this could come back. This would be okay. I don't know why there's 2 LMGs on this list. I'm not that big of a fan of LMGs, and they're kind of overpowered in this game. So I think if bringing them back, you'd have to watch out. Next is the R870 Mcs, which is a shotgun, of course, from Black Ops 2. Really cool shotgun, but we kind of have the MOG, which is very similar to this one already. Obviously, the R870 was a lot better than the MOG was, but that's what I see with there. Next ones he wrote down were the MP40 and Galil, and my opinions on these are pretty simple. I think MP40 and Galil are dope. Black Ops 3 brought both those ones already back, and I think that, there's so much to pull from in the Treyarch history and the Black Ops series franchise history that going to the MP40 and Galil would just seem like a cheap stunt again, especially in 2018 or coming into 2019 too, which is crazy to even say that. And then his last one was the ballistic knife, and I'm totally cool with the ballistic knife. So I agreed with a little bit of Jeffrey's list. Some things I did not agree with, and I want you guys to leave your list down in the comment section down below. And we're thinking of reasonable stuff that could come back in the game. So this is what I got to thinking. I got to jotting down ideas, and I quickly came up with this list. It didn't take me more than a couple of minutes. I'm a pretty OG Call of Duty fan. I actually started making YouTube vids on the first Black Ops game, right? So for tactical rifles, I thought immediately of the G11. Now the G11 from BO1 was a god gun if used right. This gun was so good that they limited the attachments, and I believe you couldn't run any attachments on it. I think that's how it worked. Basically, because the gun was so damn good, you pretty much couldn't run, like, they limited the majority of the attachments. I think it was all of them, and basically that gun was still a monster because of that. I think this would work perfectly as a burst weapon in the tactical rifle category as DLC, and because how this game works with already sort of limited attachments or having different attachment options for different guns and setups, I think that's kind of cool. And operator mods, it would be cool to see how the G11 would fit in, and it's one that is, you're a real Call of Duty fan if you remember playing with this weapon and getting that feeling of a one burst with this. This is one where it's like, if you use this weapon on a 4 bar, God gun. Use this weapon on a 3-bar, it could be inconsistent. So it's one of those ones that you have to rely on, and it sort of reminded me of maybe something like a Swordfish Pentaburst, where if you can hit that full burst, you can get that 1 burst potential, and it could absolutely punish. My next one for ARs got me thinking, and I thought Galil, you know, Galil would be cool, but I got to thinking about the Commando. Now, I know people are going to say Commando similar to ICR, but the Commando is one we were talking about throughout Black Ops 3 is that we wanted to see it back. Never came back to BO3, but I would love to see the Commando or the M27. Just thinking about those off the top of the head, another one rumored, and it was in the complete game files of Black Ops 3. Never came back, or I guess I shouldn't say never on these, because, you know, Black Ops 3 could still add DLC. That game is crazy, adding DLC like 2 to 3 years later, so you never know. But Commando, M27, those seem like really awesome picks for ARs. They're nothing too flashy, but I think they would fit very, very nicely into that slot. For SMGs, I got thinking, and there was a lot of SMGs I love from BO1, like the Spectre and the MPL, but those are kind of niche weapons. I wouldn't really get the hype up and make them as much money dropping those. And by the way, as of right now, we don't really know how these are going to be released into the actual game. Maybe they'll be included in the Black Ops Pass. That would be kind of a cool way to implement them and give people the chance to either purchase in advance or sort of earn them as the season or event goes along. Sort of like how Fortnite does it, where you can get this for cheap, but if you want it now, you have to pay for it. I think that could be a way they could do it. I'm just thinking of ways they would do it, because they're obviously going to try to cap. If they're charging $20 for 2 weapon variants, please don't put the... I'm just trying to make sure they don't put the actual weapons and charge $40 or $50 for them, because that would be ridiculous. But maybe putting it in the, you know, putting it in the reserves, where you can get it from a chance from reserves, or get it at like level 100 out of the battle pass or something. That could be a cool option, but who really knows? So I was thinking about that SMGs. MP5K, it was kind of like the Kuda in BO3, but MP5K was dope in BO1, or the Thompson. I think those would be awesome SMGs, just because those are a lot more hyped than, you know, the Spectre, the Mini Uzi would be also. Hey, Mini Uzi would be kind of a hype one to bring back as well. Then I got thinking about snipers. On this Charlie Intel list, there was no snipers, which is kind of weird. The DSR. Now, the DSR was kind of... It was kind of a lie when it was brought back in Black Ops 3, because they brought it back and they called it the DBSR. So they kind of baited everyone, I guess you could say, because DBSR, you know, everyone was believing the DSR is back, the DSR is back, but it turned out to be kind of, I won't say a lie from Treyarch, but a little bit of a smart marketing, I guess you could say, using DBSR to get the DSR hype train back, but it wasn't the same weapon, and the Ballista never came back. So Ballista or DSR from BO2, which is one of the most notable sniping games in Call of Duty's franchise. A lot of FaZe Clan, like FaZe Clan blew up off of, you know, back in the day too, but a lot of the content creators off of BO2. You know, FaZe Clan originally off of like MW2, but off a lot of the content creators off of BO2, cut comms, free-for-all stuff was dope. So Ballista or DSR could be awesome. And then when it comes down to LMGs, yeah, LSAT or Stoner, I'm totally cool with. Pistols and other stuff I didn't really look too much into, but that is stuff that I think would be really, really awesome to see in this game. As far as bringing back DLC weapons, this just sparked another thought in my head, which was bringing back Specialists. And one thing I miss is the combat focus, which was probably my most used. I'm someone that likes to use Specialists for practicality, and that's why, you know, I use combat focus in BO3, so I get more streaks, get better gameplays, and I use, in this game, I use Crash, so I can, just because I think it's the most useful, and it's utility, it provides utility. I really, really like those. Those are some try-hard ones to use, right? They're not the most fun to use. Something like the Tempest is probably the most fun to use in this game, and I got to start using the Tempest more. I just hate how you have to finish off the kills, and sort of use ammo up on that. I mean, you do get a bunch of ammo in it anyway, and it is very, very easy to quickscope with the Tempest. It's pretty cool, and definitely, you know, I'm sure people will have montages of going absolutely off with Tempest on Nuketown. I'm sure there's probably some already, because that's an awesome one. But combat focus, if they're bringing back specialists, combat focus, or just specialist abilities in I would love to see an ability similar to that in this game. I think that they kind of converted that into ComSec device, and also into the fact that, you know, with the Crash, you drop the assault packs that give you the hardline built in, sort of the plus 25 every kill. But I don't really know, you know, if that's a thing. Let me know in the comment section down below your list of weapons you want to see come back. And like I said, try to make it realistic. You know, we all love to see, like I said, the MP40 and stuff, but I mean, I guess that is more realistic, but I'm trying to think of stuff that would get the hype up and that would be be actually good and fit into this game, not just throwing out generic answers. So I tried to go a little bit more in depth and, you know, think about stuff like the G11 or stuff like the Commando, where, I mean, Commando's pretty high, but, you know, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys could drop a like on this thing, I would appreciate that. Check out some of my other videos, and yeah, I just appreciate the support lately. You guys have been absolutely killing it. I've been, you know, trying to pump out as much content as I can, especially for, you know, December. This is a huge month content-wise. We've got a big update coming next week, and yeah, things are going pretty good. I appreciate your guys' support. Make sure to leave your list down in the comments, because I'm sure I'm missing some stuff. Like, this was just off the top of my head. I'm sure there's gonna be a ton of great options, and that's why I want to, you know, read your guys' comments down below. Smack a like, subscribe, and I'm out. Peace. See you in the next one, and yeah, have a great night, or whenever you guys are watching this. I'm out. See you in the next one.